All right, it is Wednesday, June 16th of the great year 2021. EMP Review is in the house. I'm your host, Chauncey, and we got Chef Brandy. What's going on, Brandy? How's it going?
I'm doing good, Chauncey. How you doing? You sound like you're having an amazing June 16th, 2021 in this great year.
Oh, look at you, 2021. You speaking all fancy. I'm trying to do 2021 and you going to
2021, yes.
Today's a good day so far. Hopefully
Nice.
You're having a good day.
I am.
And hopefully so is everyone else. Now, we're not alone. We're joined off cam by the amazing EMP Drea. Drea is in the chat. If you're there with us, comment, post questions, whatever you need to do. We'll certainly take a look and have a discussion. But before we do all of that, Brandy, and talk about our topic and our little dish for the day, tell us, how do we become members of Entrepreneur Meal Plan?
All right. So how do you become a member of Entrepreneur Meal Plan, and exactly what is it? So Entrepreneur Meal Plan is a community for entrepreneurs looking for food for their mind, body, and business. We use a plant-based theory because we believe that plants are the key to helping you power your profits and your productivity. So plant-based may seem a little foreign to some people. So what do we do to help you with that? We give you meal plans, recipes, shopping lists, access to weekend cooking demos, replays of those cooking demos, a community of other people who just may be super confused too, that can support you along the way. And they're also trying to make sure that they are well enough to enjoy the fruits of their labor, so to say, when they're done with their entrepreneurial journey. So Entrepreneur Meal Plan is a community for people like that. If that resonates with you, for a small investment of $30.23 a quarter, you can have all of that and more, because we continue to feed you here with the Entrepreneur Meal Plan.
Yes, we do. And it's such a small investment for so much. And speaking of so much, today, we're still in the month of June. The topic broadly is still eat your watermelon. So, in keeping with that, Chef, you have a zesty summer watermelon salad.
Yes.
Is that just watermelon and like some jalapeno? What's going on with that?
There's some stuff going on there. Of course, there's a little jalapeno there. But we throw in a little more. You know, a lot of times when we're thinking about watermelon, we think about it only as a sweet thing. But it's always fun. You know how we do at the Entrepreneur Meal Plan. We like to help people pivot, because that's what we have to do as entrepreneurs in the kitchen as well. So yeah, you did guess one ingredient though.
Watermelon.
Yes, and jalapeno. You got two actually.
Oh, that's two. Okay, wonderful. I wonder, could we grill the watermelon? Ooh, let me be quiet. Now, Brandy, go ahead and get set up so that we can see this wonderful recipe. And Brandy will be back in a moment, everybody.
Yes, indeed. All right, so watermelon salad, zesty summer watermelon salad, of course, starts with watermelon. Right here, I have a nice little mini watermelon, as they call them. So I'm going to simply cut it in half. And then cut it in quads. Well, I guess definitely cutting it in half again. Quads once I get through all of them. I'm interested to see. This one looks a little light. Watermelons are just so sometimes unpredictable. Well, it's pretty good. It's tasty. It's not super sweet. Not super sweet. But I did get it from my good old friends over at Misfits Market. If you guys don't know what Misfits Market is a service that allows you to take advantage of produce that is not perfect at a discounted rate. So this came through, not perfect, but still yummy. And we're going to make it have its best life by adjusting it. Now, I just cut it into triangles. I'm trying to decide if that's really how I think I'm going to keep it in triangles. I'm going to keep this super simple. If we have this on a hot summer day, we're entrepreneurs, we're working, we want a little snack, you're not going to do too much with this. We're going to cut it into cubes, put it in there. Nice little triangles. Those are fun. I'm going to do the other half. I think since this is a mini one, I'm going to use this whole baby. So what I'm doing is cutting it down into little pieces here, then taking the knife and just splitting it down the center, and then flipping it again and running it across the bottom. So you guys know I like my lines. I'm always encouraging people to use their lines when they're cooking. It makes your prep work so much easier. So use your lines. Same thing with this. Now, if you weren't here last week, you did not get an opportunity to hear about how we can use every part of the watermelon, but watch the replay. We have some really fun ideas for how you can use the rind. And a lot of times people throw that rind away, or they think you can only pickle it. There's so many other things you can do with that yummy rind, and it's full of fiber. Summertime, people are having smoothies like every day. So you can throw your rind into a smoothie if you can't think of any other way to use it. So there you go. Try not to waste. Getting through this watermelon. Bam. I actually think I may try sauteing my rind. I'm going to hold this one and try to saute it. I saw something online that inspired me. This Indian dish that is full of like Indian spices and watermelon rind. So give it a try. Give it a try maybe over the weekend. Bring you back some insight next week, how that all went down. But I don't like the waste. So, bam. All about good, yummy watermelon. It's cut up into little triangles. Now, we're going to make this watermelon's really sweet, right? So it has the ability to take on lots of other flavors. And when things are sweet, you can add stuff to them, like heat. Chauncey guessed it right, jalapeno. This jalapeno used to be green. It turned red, but it's okay. It just gets a little hotter through the process. So I'm not going to use as much of it. Just going to take it. Going to cut it into slices and then just break it up. I'm going to actually keep most of these seeds in because, like I said, I think that the sweetness of the watermelon can handle the heat. Now, if you are not sure about the heat tolerance, I always say it's a lot easier to add more than it is to remove. So start with a level that you'll feel comfortable with, taste it, and then adjust. All right, now we're going to go with this onion. I've already started using this onion, but I'm going to take a piece of it this way, and I'm going to use this onion raw. So what do we do when we're going to use onions raw? We cut from front to back. This is how we know where the back is. This little guide back here is your back, which means this is your front. And since we're going to put them in a salad and they're going to be raw, big fan, make them super thin, right? So we're going to just go in, get them really, really thin. Now, if you had some time on your hands, or maybe you were doing this for like an event or something, or you were batch cooking, it would be nice to actually pickle these. You could take these onions and pickle them before you put them into the salad. Now, I'm using a sweet white onion in this situation because this is what I have available. But normally, when I make this salad, I use a red onion. I just don't have any available right now, but I'm very confident that this white onion is going to be a really effective fill-in / substitute for this dish. All right, so a couple of sliced thin white onions. Well, not technically white, sweet Vidalia onions going into cut from front to back because we are using them for raw preparation. Now, something fun that we don't use a lot in general. This fun little ingredient here is our friend, the dandelion root. So growing up, I know growing up, every time my mom saw dandelions outside, she made a big deal about my dad about pulling them out. They're the pretty yellow flowers that are the result of at least something that we growing up called wishes, which were these little like puff flowers that you blow. You blow these flowers, and then they're the seeds for dandelions, and they grow out of control. And growing up, it's like, oh, these are weeds. We got to get rid of them, right? These are no good. But the crazy thing about weeds, that I don't think we took into consideration growing up, is that weeds are insanely medicinal. They have so many medicinal properties. They're weeds out that we throw away all the time because they're not aesthetically pleasing to a garden, but they have so many benefits. So I went to this horticulture workshop a while ago, and I ended up taking a breakout session around weeds, and we could taste things, and we learned about the benefits of them. And the dandelion weed was one of the favorites of the person who was teaching the workshop. And it's so funny, her name was actually Susan Weeds. That was her legal name was Susan Weeds. So it's kind of appropriate that she ended up, teaching weed classes. Not those types of weeds, not cannabis weeds, but weeds out in the world, teaching weed classes for a living. But yeah, so I am personally a bitter person. I love the bitter notes in food. They're talking about bitter. Dandelion is bitter. It is very bitter. And it has a saltiness too as well, which is really, really interesting. I love it raw as a salad. And I tend to pair it with oranges because oranges are, sweet enough to kind of help balance out that bitter. But I feel like watermelon have that same ability. Now, why are we eating weeds? Why are we pushing weeds? Now, first off, dandelion weeds have an insane amount of potassium in them. So if you're like me, you don't like bananas, you could eat dandelion weeds, right? There we go. Got some potassium from there. In addition to that, it's really good for managing, like detoxifying or cleaning out your liver functions. So that's something that dandelion roots are known and really good for. Of course, antioxidants. Every plant will give you antioxidants. So dandelion weeds. I'm not saying that if you're walking down the streets of New York or any urban city that has a bunch of pollution that you should be grabbing dandelion roots from the streets. But what I'm saying is that if you have a garden that you manage, or you happen to go to the grocery store and you see dandelion roots, weeds, give them a try. Another cool thing about dandelion weeds is that if you are trying to get off of coffee or detox from caffeine, roasted dandelion root tea has been an effective and approved replacement for coffee from coffee drinkers. So just something to think about. There, hold 1 second. I'm just going to rinse off my cucumber. All right, so we're also going to throw some cucumber into this dish, right? Cucumber. Seems like it's definitely a summer food. Add some nice color to this salad. Green and pink/red go really well together. We're just going to cut them down and dice them up. Throw them in. Add some extra water to this already hydrating salad. So there we go. Bam. Bam, cut them into little chunks. You're not going to get too fancy, but, we kind of want them to be the same size. You could also just slice them if you don't feel like cutting them into strips, cut them into little pieces. Totally just slice them and just throw them in there. But I like using my lines. I like practicing my lines. I like showing everybody the power of lines in preparation when you're cooking. So I tend to opt for that. Now, what seasonings are we going to use on this watermelon? Yes, we're going to spice it up. We use a little smoked paprika. Smoked paprika. Yes, we are smoky paprika. The whole smoke flavor, smoked watermelon, so it goes good. Chauncey mentioned earlier the concept of grilling grilled watermelon. Great. So if you don't want to grill it, a little smoked paprika will remind you of that grill taste that you don't have. I'm going to add a little more heat, so we're going to go with this cayenne. A little cayenne. I know there's also already heat in there from the jalapeno. Just a little dash of cayenne. And a little cumin. Cumin has a citrusiness to it that will be interesting in this salad. And we're going to finish it off with our good friend lemon. Lemon. Now, you could also potentially finish it off with lime if you did not have a lemon. But we're going to go with lemon today because I don't have a lime. Give it a little bit of juice. And then we're simply going to Just mix all of these ingredients together. All right, so this is our simple, zesty summer watermelon salad. So I am going to clean up a little bit and then meet you guys back over for questions.
Right. So, who would have thought that you could make a salad like that using watermelon? Everybody, if you have questions, you're here with us live, type them in. And as you do, I have a few for you, Chef Brandy. Number one, you were talking about Misfits Market.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd never get from Misfits Market?
Anything that I would never get from Misfits Market?
Mm-hmm.
No, I would say, I don't think I would say no, because what's interesting about them is that they only provide things that are in season. So you know that you're getting stuff that is in season. Yeah, and for as much as the marketing is all about like this food that's being thrown away and it's like in horrible condition and nobody's using it, I've been using the service for about 2 years, and I think I've called twice to get credits for quality. In 2 years, so I'm just like,
wait a minute. They let you call for quality issues?
Absolutely.
What is the level of deterioration that would make you call?
For me, it's like if I get a tomato that's like breaking open, like it's different when it's like a little soft. That's one thing, but like if it's like busting open, I can't do anything with it. Like, I'm totally gonna call for that. Or if I think I've gotten like a mango that was just like way past its prime. 2 years, 2 calls. You can't. I mean, I think I've called Amazon Fresh when they were delivering more often than I called Misfits.
And Misfits, they deliver.
They do.
All right. Another question. What's the best way to decide which pepper to include in a dish?
It really depends on your heat level. Like if you want something that's super spicy, then you pick a pepper that's more spicy. And if you want something that's a little more mild, then you pick a pepper that's a little more mild. If you also want to kind of kill a little bit of the heat, you can like roast your peppers a little bit. Like on an open flame on your stove and peel the skin off. A lot of work.
Open flame on the stove?
Yes, I'm constantly just cooking, just throwing things on the stove.
You chefs, flame. I tell you. You think that we normal folk at home are just, putting raw food on the stove?
I don't know why not. If you can, like it's cool. It takes your food to the next level, right?
What if your stove is electric? What would you do then? Yeah,
that's challenging. Oh, that makes me sad, actually, if your stove is electric. But if it is, I would probably recommend you getting a, I guess the grill pan, a skillet, like the skillet that you can flip with the grill pan and the flat surface.
Like a griddle?
Yeah, a griddle. Yeah, that's probably the best option.
Yeah, electric griddles. Next question. To use a sweet ingredient in a savory dish, which flavors should be included to balance the sweetness? Like, how do you do that?
some acid for sure. Like I think that's the key to bring everything together. Like when you're trying to balance like sweet and salty, like even not sweet and salty, sweet and like say salt or sweet and spicy, whatever it is. Like if you think about even candy, I know we don't necessarily talk about candy on on the show often, but if you think about a Sour Patch Kid, right? Like the beauty of like the Sour Patch Kid is that citric acid that comes from like the lemon, it kind of brings together that tartness and that sugar and that, I guess I don't know if we would call it that savory, but tart. I mean, acid is your key. And that could also be vinegar. Like I decided to use lemon. I would have potentially used lime, but I could have also used a apple cider vinegar, a red wine vinegar, anything like that to pull everything together.
Yeah, and that's exactly what EMP Drea said, apple cider vinegar. But I never thought I'd ever hear from you, Chef, the beauty of a Sour Patch Kid. That goes down in history. Thank you for that.
Listen, I appreciate all food science, regardless of if I'm going to recommend you eating it.
And Christine has just joined us. Hey, Christine, welcome aboard.
Hey, Christine.
So one more question for you, Brandy. Could you replace the watermelon with other fruits?
Yeah, you could replace the watermelon with other fruits. I think you could literally replace it with another melon. So I think you could do a cantaloupe if there was a really ripe cantaloupe. I think you could do a really ripe honeydew. Now, I say this not having experienced a really ripe cantaloupe or honeydew often in my life, but I have had it before, and I'm like, oh yeah, it could totally work. You could probably just do all cucumber. It wouldn't necessarily be sweet, but you could potentially do it.
Maybe add some tomatoes to that, a sweet tomato.
That could give you that sweetness. Yeah.
Well, very good. So that takes care of us for the day. Brandy, wrap it up for us. What are the benefits of EMP?
All right. So Entrepreneur Meal Plan, the benefits of Entrepreneur Meal Plan is that you are part of a community of entrepreneurs who are also interested in feeding their mind, body, and businesses. And they want to use plants as a way to power their profits and productivity, right? So we support you through that journey. Plant-based living is all the rave right now, to the point that you have corporations throwing it on everything and confusing people. But here, we keep it simple. We help you figure it out with a community of people. We offer you meal plans, fun conversations, and just a warm, fuzzy feeling to know that you're doing something good for yourself and the environment by default. And I didn't put this in the notes, but tomorrow, guys, if you're available 12:30 noon, Facebook Live, I'm going to be doing something called Crave This, Try That with an organization called Plant Powered Metro New York. So if you are available, join us. I'm going to be, if you have any cravings around, food, and you want to find a plant-based replacement, I'm going to be doing some quick fire live question and answer. So join me, share, just another way that we help people make plant-based living more exciting.
Excellent. So that's 12:30 p.m. tomorrow,
Eastern.
which is Eastern. Thank you. Which is Thursday, June 17th. And, like crave cheese, try cashews. Right. Who knows? Now, with that said, you know what? These corporations, it's just like what they did with organic, what they're doing with plant-based. But,
yes,
we see y'all.
Plant-based off, guys. Insane. Why do we need to know that Bugs Blurry is plant-based? That really bothers me. I saw that ad recently. I was like, why? So, yeah, but we're going to keep you right at Entrepreneur Meal Plan.
We will certainly do that. And speaking of which, next Wednesday, we're back. That is June 23rd. And we are back at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. We are still dealing with Eat Your Watermelon. So in between now and then, as always, we say do life and business well. Thanks, Brandy. See you next time.
See ya.